Well, good morning, everybody. It is 28th. Nope, it's 29th. And the final day of month one of Start in a Month 2021. And, yeah, man, it's been a ride. It's been an absolute ride. Yeah, I've been kind of like up and down because. Oh, hold on. What's going on with my chat? There we go. Yeah, I've been like kind of up and down because I've got these expectations for how things are going to go. I mean, we've all got expectations for everything, right? So, I mean, when you say, like, I'm going to build a startup in a month, generally what that means is you're going to get to the end of the month and you're going to have a startup ready. But I am slightly chagrined to say that we are on the last day and we are just, like, simply not going to make it. Um, and by not make it, I mean it's the last day of the month. It's a Friday, and the weekend's coming up. And I could like absolutely just like pull, all nighters on this thing and let's go like super ham on it. Ah, good morning, Cliff. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah. Anyway, I was just sharing that it's the last day, and I think we're not gonna make it. There's just too much work to do. So yeah, we could pull a bunch of like all nighters and work on this all weekend and just like work ourselves to death basically. But yeah, I'm kind of like balancing the idea of like playing along with the game I've created for myself, right? Because really, I've got this like big blank sheet of paper. I've got like no one to be accountable to except for myself, and I'm kind of inventing the rules of the game along the way. So yeah, on the one hand, that can be like a tricky thing because you don't want to get like too committed to something that you set out to do, which is like just not going to be feasible. But on the other hand, if you're going to draw like boundaries for yourself and kind of lines on your sheet of paper, then what's the point of them being there if you're not going to abide by them in the end? So I got kind of those two things in my mind, but I think for the time being that I'm just gonna like stick with the 1 month plan and see how far we can get and kind of table it for the time being. So basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the morning warm up. Gonna continue hooking up the WebSockets to the game functions because I actually did get to that point yesterday afternoon. So yeah, we got to the stage where a lot of the remaining like game functionality was like written yesterday on the back end, and then in the afternoon I was able to hook up the back end functions to the front end pages. That was really cool to see. But yeah, it's just a long road ahead in terms of like things that I would have to do to actually get this thing online and to get into a place where like people could play it. So anyway, we'll just see how far we get today. Just try to have some fun with it, and I'm thinking maybe have like a month one revisited feature somewhere down the road. So this kind of plays into the mantra. Incidentally, yesterday's mantra, but it'll be today's mantra as well. So yeah, maybe what month one was not like the first startup after all. Like maybe the point wasn't to like actually build the game and get it out there and get it complete. Maybe the point of this first month was to learn how to like actually do this in the first place. This is something I've never done, and I'm trying like 20 different things all at the same time. So yeah, more charitable interpretation of what I got done with this month was just like put the foundation in for what I'm doing for the rest of the year. So I'm like way better at closure at the end of this. I've put in a lot of work towards like reusable things that I could use in like other startups and other projects. So yeah, if I take advantage of those, I'll be able to like kind of bootstrap myself like days ahead in the process for like subsequent startups and subsequent months. Yeah, so yeah, if we're gonna put a charitable spin on it, maybe I wasn't working on the game after all. Maybe I was just kind of setting myself up for future success. So anyway, maybe we'll come back to this at some point in the future once we know more and have kind of learned better how to do this whole startup in a month thing. But yeah, at least for now, I feel good about kind of putting it on the table and shelving it for future efforts. So yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. So our agenda today will be a daily warm up and then some WebSocket function hookup. And I put a little construction dude there. Well, actually, and Cliff, while you're in the stream, I was trying to buy GameStop, GameStop stock yesterday on ETrade, but they wouldn't let me. So I think in the morning, Robinhood shut down trading on GameStop. So I was hoping that ETrade had it still open, but by the time I got money into my account, I discovered A, that I couldn't do fractional shares, and B, that they had halted trading on it. So yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. I was giving Connor and Mike some crap about that yesterday, so we'll see what happens today. It was some wild and crazy stuff. I was watching a bunch of memes. It was pretty hysterical, wasn't it? Fight the man indeed. Yeah. Everybody hates a short seller. Okay. It's also really funny that I worked for ETrade for a full 2.5 years, and just yesterday I learned what a short squeeze was. I'd heard that term before, and I had no idea what it actually meant. But yeah, now I'm getting some real world exposure to just what that actually means. It's been really interesting to watch. Great. So yeah, let's start with the warm up, shall we? So our challenge today. Ooh, I forgot. We've been doing like a timer thing. Where'd my timer go? There it is. We're doing these for a half hour, and we're trying to keep ourselves honest on the clock. Right, so yeah, we're gonna have a intersection finding challenge, which I think in some languages is actually like pretty tricky because I guess specifically I'm thinking of like JavaScript, which doesn't have much of a standard library to speak of in terms of the utility functions. So if you're doing this in JavaScript, this would be really tricky. I think there's like utilities Enclosure, which would actually make this like fairly easy. So yeah, it's a really good opportunity to explore more of the like standard library API and see how much I can do with just like the utility functions that we have. So anyway, we're going to read an array of strings stored in this thing, and it will contain two elements. One string of comma-separated numbers, and another string of comma-separated numbers. And so our goal is to return a comma-separated string containing the numbers that occur in the... yeah, this is really badly written text, but anyway, basically what we're doing is we're looking at these strings of numbers and we're finding which numbers in the string are shared between each string. So we see like 1 is in both of these strings, so the output is 1. 4 is in both of these strings, so the output is also 4. And then finally the last thing they have in common is 13, so 13. And yeah, that's the challenge, and let's hop to it, shall we? So half an hour, starting at 9:45, we'll finish at 10:15. Some ticking sound effects for the benefit of the viewers at home. Then we'll put it on the bookshelf, because the ticking kind of drives you crazy. Alright. So first step, start the REPL. Alright, second step, load the file. Alright, third step, test that everything's okay. It is? Alright. So, I think... Right. It's time now for us to go to the cheat sheet. And I think what we're looking up for is intersection. Yeah. Okay, so that's sets. Relations, intersection. I think I can use this on vectors too. Alright, return to set that is the intersection of the input sets. So 1, 2, 2, 3. Do not call intersection with non-set arguments. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, did I see this yesterday? Intersection. Yeah. Was I? Maybe I was looking at difference. Anyway. Actually, if you'll excuse me for one moment. Okay, now we're back. Yeah, so we got this sweet function, which is like a one-liner for like solving this thing, but we can only use it on sets. So I've got the choice now of turning this into a set, which I think would be a valid solution. Or I could try to do it the hard way by like inventing my own function. Distinct, empty, every, not every. Sorted, counted, reversible. Create, examine, change. Other scalars and collections. Just want to see if there's like something I can use with a vector, aka an array. No, there isn't. But there's also like functions for transforming from like one data type to the other. So that's probably a good opportunity to learn that. And I think it's into a set. Hello. Right, okay, so we had a vector, and with this like sweet into function, what we can do is we can just like transport that into a set like straight away. And I'm just gonna make sure this is actually what I think it is. Turns into a collection. To, from, yep, okay. Alright, so the first step is to turn this thing into a set. We're gonna have vector strings, so we can do like a def test inputs. Save that, no comma needed. Yeah, so we'll do like a map. Yeah, can we do this on a string? This might be a little more involved than that first appeared at first glance. Okay, so that's not exactly what we want. And I think let's do it. Maybe first like a split, right? I think there's like more closure-y ways of doing this. So get test input 0 is gonna give me like that first string. Really? Test input 0. No, there's some super basic. Okay, I didn't have it loaded into the REPL, right? Very important thing to remember, load your stuff into the REPL. Okay. So, test input 0, that'll give me that. Now if I splits, the first thing I need is closure string as string. Nope. Closure.string, how do I require closure.string, not closure/string? There we go. All right. Now we have string splits, test input 0. We need something to split on. So that's a hash for a regular expression, and it's going to be a comma. All right. So now we got an array of strings, and some of them have like spaces between them. And I wonder if there's like a thing to like trim white space. Removes white space from both ends of the string. That's exactly what we want. Now what we want to do is like map. String trim. Oop. Stir trim. Great. Now it's a list, so we want to do map v because we want to keep things in vectors. Alright, cool. So it works for that. Pretty sure it's going to work for this, but we'll just double check. Alright. So we got a vector of strings which had commas. We removed the commas, we removed the white space, so now we got the data in the format we want. I'm almost tempted to turn this into a threading thing. So we're already like two forms deep, and yeah, as we move through this thing, we're going to get even more forms. So you could make an argument that organizing this into like a threading macro would be a good way to go, since that just like kind of is like easier to read when you've got a ton of function calls going on. But I think I'll not do that for now, and just keep going and do that later if we need to. All right. Yep, and then the next one was map into a set, and it's an empty set of parens. Okay. Just go. Well, you know, we don't even need to go back. We can just evaluate this blue form and ignore the white form. Right. Oh, it's because we only have one. We tried to map over strings when I thought we were mapping over vectors. So yeah, let's this is already a little bit tricky. So we want to map v over the test inputs, and for each time we do that, I think Calvin must have a way for me to move forms around. I suspect that there's something in the code like that, but I haven't taken the time to learn just yet. Key must be an integer. Oh. Map v. Alright, so I'll make this an anonymous function. percent will be each thing we're like iterating over as we're mapping. Key must be an integer. Alright, so what's test input? It's that. So we're mapping over an array of that. Each time we're calling string splits. And instead of that, we should be doing this. Okay, I think that's right. Cool, okay. So now we're mapping. And can we map to get the white space out? No, we can't. We can't do that. Because now we've got a vector of vectors, right? So this map thing is trying to like map over each of these arrays and call string trim, but we don't want to call string trim on a vector because that's like a string method, obviously. So there's like a concept of a flat map in JavaScript. I wonder if we could like map cat, that's not what we want. Sequence in, sequence out. Yeah, okay, here's our list of sequence changing functions. Tail item, head item, nope. Change. Concat, distinct, flatten. Partition. Partition by, filter, remove, replace, shuffle. Pmap, I don't know what that is. Like map, except f is implied in parallel. Okay, so this is like a performance thing. Pmap if you want to map over a huge list, but take advantage of like multiple cores in a computer. Creates a queued sequence on another, presumably lazy sequence. Also not what we want. So yeah, let's do this the dumb way first. Okay, what I want is like a map in or something. Transducers, well, there may be some things in here. Keep index, mapped indexed, dedupe. Okay, so now I need to figure out how to map over each one of these. So I could maybe do like map v. I don't think this is going to work. Maybe if we do like indemnity. Okay. So what does this give us? What does the arrow function give us now? No. All right. Oh, I could do this in JavaScript with my eyes closed, but now I need to figure out how to do it in Enclosure. Just get that up so I can look at it. Alright, so map v identity was not what we wanted because that just gave us the vectors back in that like outer vector. So let's get rid of that. Applies function f to the argument list formed by prepending intervening arguments to args. It'd be really sweet if we could do this without like function item. Map v function item. So now we can do we can say map v on each item. We'll do string trim. Right. So green to green. Oh, wait. String.trim item. Alright, so there's that. And to this, we're going to pass alright, so does this make sense? We got that. And now if we call this blue one, we get what we want. No, we don't. Vec. Alright, do it the dumb way. Map v. Yeah, you know what? Hold on. Nah, this is good. I was on the right track. So string vector strings nah, we can do this. I think this is it. Yep, that's it. Alright, cool. So wow, this is getting real crazy. But if you can follow me here, we've got the test input, which is like a vector of strings. So the first thing we do is we map over each of those strings and we split them on commas. So we've got now instead of a vector of strings, we have a vector of vectors. But the problem is that some of these strings like have just the numbers and some of these strings have like spaces in them. So the next thing we need to do is trim the white space. And that's where this second map comes in. So you can see map takes a function and a collection. So this is our function here. We're going to map over each of those vectors of strings. So let's bring it up one more time so we can see it. So we're mapping over each one of those. That's what this vec of string argument is. Then for each of those, we need to map over them one more time. So we're going to map v over each string, and we're going to call trim on it. And that's how we get to our final goal, which is a vector of strings without any white space. All right. Now I think we need to do a similar thing here, because if we try to call map into set, what we get is an empty list, because we're trying to turn like vectors into sets, since we still have a vector of vectors. So, function vector map v into a set I think that crazy thing is not going to work at all. All right. Button. So function. Damn, is that it? Nope. Alright, back up. Back up to the start. What do we have by the time we get here? So what are we mapping over? We're mapping over each of those. Low and high. Alright, 10:07. We got 10 minutes. Once we get all these things into sets, we're done though, right? That's all we need to do. Alright. So let's just do this on a slightly less crazy, slightly smaller scale. If there's anything I've learned in this life is that starting small is the way to go. Oh, Lucer. Hey, I've been following you for a couple days. Thanks for sharing your adventure with Closure. I learned a lot from it. Oh, great, man. Yeah. Glad to have you along for the ride. Thanks for following along. Yeah, I hope that when I try to explain something for the benefit of the stream that, you know, someone gets something out of it. So, yeah, man, I'm glad you're learning. I'm learning, too. Yeah, I'm learning how to map over a vector of vectors here. So, yeah, hopefully we can get this done. Oh my god. Okay, so that's not what we want. God, I think apply. Apply has been like so useful, and it's come together for me in some like key ways for some of the things I've done in the real game. But I don't really have a great sense. What if I did like apply into like that? No. Let's go back to strings. Work. Key must be integer. Done that a few times, haven't I? Do I need a partial for this? Turns a function f in fewer than the normal arguments. Possibly. I don't know, harm in trying, right? Just trying to figure this. Apply partial into key must be integer. What does it mean, Closure? Key must be integer. Alright, let's just make sure that we even understand how this works at all. Okay, so Apply means we can use a vector of things and treat them as though they were the arguments, a list of arguments to another function. And into expects what? Oh, we're gonna get a sad hickey. Oh, come on, I love it when I see this. Yes, sad rich hickey. It's so funny. I'm gonna leave that up. Okay. Into returns new collection into from. Alright, so we need a from collection. So maybe apply is not what we want because into needs one argument and apply is for applying multiple arguments to one function. Alright. More experiments. Wrong number of arguments, 1. Oh. There we go, right. So map into a set each one of those. Is that what we have by the time we get to the end of this? Map into... Is that like really close, but I couldn't see it from before? Function vec into a set goes the vector. But I get a function back. I don't get an array of sets. I don't get a vector of sets. Back it up, back it up. It's definitely what I want to do, right? Oh no, the time is up. Ah, we're so close. We're so close though. Yeah, we'll keep going. Be a shame to stop so soon. Okay. So the blue gives us basically what we have down here, right? So how can I... Let's just make sure we can do this. Vec entity of vec. Right. Map function vec into a set goes the vector. Yes? What? Into a map goes the vector. Maybe we'll just return the string high. High and high. How in the hell are we getting vectors back? Into a set goes the vector. I need to do it like that. I did need to do it like that. Ooh, we're so close. Okay, now we have all the unique numbers, which we don't really need, but we do need them to be sets, because that means we can call our super sweet intersection function on those sets. Yeah, now we do intersection on the whole thing. but we need to require that function first, closure.set, refer intersection. Ooh. Hey, like that, man. I got it right on the first time. Intersection. Oh, here's our apply. Our apply is coming in. Because check this out. We got a list of set arguments. And what apply allows us to do, I need to go to the docs. I can do this right here. Apply string. Hi. Hello. Apply lets us treat a vector of arguments as though they were the actual arguments that we pass to a function. So if we apply intersection to the vector of arguments returned from this crazy, crazy function, we get it. 413.1. It's not sorted. That's okay. Oh, is there such a thing as a sorted set? Ooh, sorted sets. Our sequence. Sort sets. Or can we call sort on a set? All right. Maybe like a map v sort on these. Ooh, we totally can. Ooh, and then we can join them into a string. High small starts. Map v. Map v sort. Oh, definitely time for a threading macro, but that'll be a challenge for another day. I don't know why we're getting that crazy stuff back, but we basically got it, right? Like we got a set of all the oh wait, hold on. Don't you need to destructure vector in the first map? Probably not. That makes sense. Yeah, anyway. I'm a little bit lost here too, but at any rate, the challenge was to get the elements that each of those two strings had in common, and yeah, we got it after a fashion. We didn't quite get it in the format that they asked for it for, but yeah, how about we call that done? Nice. All right. Very good, very good. All right. So there's our morning warm-up. And now what we're going to do is our WebSocket function hookup. So let me update what I'm doing. WebSocket function hookup. I wonder. I can't do it. Can't do emojis. It's like this file reading thing that OBS is doing for a little Q&A thing I have on the bottom, but it does not read all of the characters. All right. Oh. It's way too much. Way too much text for a little markdown file like that. Yeah, let's get this thing running. Let's see what we can do, and let's keep moving. Alright, so this still all lives in WeSocket state experiment. Now we're going to code the app, and we're going to code the server. So, loser, do you work in Clojure, or are you just like curious about Clojure? Yeah, just kind of interested to know what your experience with it is. I'm like coding in this for yeah, not quite the first time ever. This would be like my first month of actually working in Clojure. Well, I've read about it a lot, and I've done a lot of functional programming, so it's been a lot of fun to actually like get into the language itself and start building something real with it. In the meantime, we will start the server. Go to the main. Load the main file. Load the main file. Man, my computer's going nuts. Why are you working so hard, man? User says just started learning it in 2 to 3 weeks ago. I use Elm at work, so it's not my first functional language. I've heard a lot about Elm too. Elm's supposed to be really nice. Elm front end. Yeah, I never actually worked with Elm myself, but I have heard about it on a lot of podcasts. I really like the idea of, new messages. I also know a bit of Haskell. Oh, yep. Yeah, I think Elm comes from Haskell, right? Like, that's kind of a Haskell-inspired library. Examples. Yeah, I won't go too deep into this, but I will. Co-recursive. Heard a really good interview with someone here. Elm. We are teaching functional programming wrong. This is a really interesting interview with. I don't know if he actually contributes to Elm or something. Yeah, that was kind of my first exposure to, knowing more specifically what it is, aside for just the fact that it exists. So, quite enjoyed that podcast episode. That may be something you enjoy too if you actually work with it day to day. I'm gonna put these show notes up on my blog at some point, but for now they just live on my computer. Oh, Feldman is our man in the Elm community. Yep. Okay, so yeah, I misremembered that. I guess he's the dude. Okay. Select builds to start front end. New window. Alright. Not quite there yet, but we will be soon. Connect to the front end build. Alright, here we go. So, what can we do so far? We'll see if this works on the first try. I'm not entirely sure it will. I don't know what the best window layout is either, but we'll start with that. Okay, so if we say Cliff is the username, we're ignoring the password field for now because we don't have a user system whatsoever. Listen for next time. Start the game. Alright, so we got the game lobby. We can get a game code back. And now if we go to game in a new browser, and we say we're going to join this game, and Andy is joining. This is still silly hard-coded stuff, but now if we go into here and we check out what the game state is, we crash because we don't have the game namespace loaded. However, if we load the namespace, we check out what the game state, GOM states. It is nothing. Well, we did log it before, so yeah, jeez. Anyway, we can see that the host is Cliff. We have some players, Cliff and Andy in here. We have vectors and plots, round indexes, some starter vote totals, so we can see who has how many points. Ooh, Loser says, Elm is great because it has all the bells and whistles built in to be productive since day one. State management, side effects management, etc. There's almost no need for external libraries. Yeah, that's kind of the thing, right? It's like, yeah, Closure is definitely like put the pieces together slowly kind of thing, and like build up your own solution, which is like super intense if you're coming at it from a basis of like being a new person. Yeah, so I definitely feel that. I've definitely experienced some of that myself, and yeah, this was like the original kind of code running, like build running tool out there, and kind of followed the advice of a lot of people on, maybe just a few people on Slack, but mostly like blogs and like YouTube videos where they say, don't go with Line Engine because we have this thing called like the CLJ, CLI thing, which is like the official like set of CLI tools for Closure, like released by the people who like develop the language. So this is supposed to be like kind of a smaller, simpler thing to like just run Closure stuff from the command line, and then you can do stuff, kind of hook in things and just like kind of be on your way. So I'm kind of thinking I should have gone with something like this, or something like a Luminous, like this. Like this is a whole like kind of like web app like starter kit. Like it's not necessarily a framework; it's more like a project template. So with this one, it'll just set you up with like the file structure and all the things that you need to get an app up and running. So I may use this for next time because, piecing it together, like, bit by bit has like a lot of things to commend it. Like, you can get exactly what you want. So you're not going to be like spending a bunch of time like digging through like all kinds of crazy stuff, like trying to understand the framework. Like if you're building it up like piece by piece, then all you need to really understand is like each piece, like as you add it in. Okay, I've been using Line since day one because it's mentioned in every beginner tutorial book. Yeah, exactly. So, but if you go to like Eric Normand, should you use Line? I think Closure. Eric Normand. Yeah, Eric Normand is like one of the big Closure guys. And he had some post about like, I can't remember. But anyway, a lot of people will tell you to use like the CLJ tool, but that comes with the downside of like needing to do it from scratch. So yeah, anyway. That's what I chose for month one, and I definitely learned a lot, but I may end up going a different path for month two. At any rate, yeah, so we got most of a state. Like, what? Why can't I log this? If we try to start another game. There we go. Okay, so I guess maybe changing namespaces had something to do with that, but yeah, we can make a game. We can make a game code on the screen. If we go back here and we join that game instead, we can add like players and stuff. So that's like really cool. Game state. There we go. So this is the basis that we got to start from. Good join stand up. I'll be back in a half hour or so. Good luck. All right, man. I'll still be here. Hope to see you again. All right, so let's keep going from this basis. I think the game templates are going to be a good guide for what we should do here. Alright, so we're in the game lobby, but we can't get the game code. So let's just start there. Alright. Game code, game states. Oh, hello. So we get that for the host, but we don't get that for the player. Right, because I think... Join game. Reset game state with the reply. So what was the reply? Joined game. Joined game states. I think it's because we had some kind of like crazy thing going on where we've got like nested game codes now. So I think it's something we gotta fix on the back end first. All right. It's snowing. I'm so pretty outside. Alright, here we go. Game state starter. Alright, does this happen on create a game or does this happen on join a game? Those are current game states. Happens if we do that. Alright, so I don't think it's at register player. So it must be somewhere in handlers. Yeah, it's here, right? Join game. We had like a hash p thing going on. TGJF. Alright, so swap in the game state the following. Let's get rid of this for now. In the game state. We got a bunch of these. Let's see what next game state is. So if that is right. Then we know we're okay. If we actually put this here, that'd be better. Gotta remember to use my new keyword shortcuts. Alright, so it must be happening here, right? Like, what's this? Just endless TGJF. So I'll get rid of that. Swap game states. Next game state. I think what I can do is just reset game state with next game state. Ooh, what I can do is reset game state. Check this shit out. Ah, sorry, that was a bit rude. I shouldn't curse. Now game state is empty. Oops. I can do this. Reset game state with an empty object. So right there in the terminal, what we just did was reset the state of the game like interactively. So I don't need to go in and like stop and start the server or do any kind of like super crazy, like, heavy-handed things. I can just leave it running, but I can clear the state of the game out, and that way I can start with, like, a fresh slate. So what I can do now is go back to here, host a new game. It's not here anymore, but how about we make loser the host, start a game, got a new game code. Alright, let's check that out. Looking good. LIJD back here. Join LIJD, and we'll have Cliff join. It's a little annoying for your WebSockets to constantly be interrupting your REPL experience. I wonder if there's a better way to do that. Alright, so that's what we want. But now we can even register more players. So, like, free register Andy. Check out the game state. Now everything is as it should be. Great. Awesome. So we got that bug fixed, but we still can't get the game code. Game states. Join the game. Alright. Print line, reply. What am I replying with? Yeah, I guess we got this convention where we're like passing the game state and the game code back. So let's just keep it easy for now. Lobby. Gets in game states game code. So I think we can do that. If we go back, add another person to this game. We should see nothing. Game state, game code. Game code. Maybe that's actually what we wanted. What was the game code? LIJD. Get Sarian in the party. Still don't have it. So I wonder. Undeclared var. I wonder if we load our Index of game state, game code. Really? It's because I'm not reaching all the way in. But really what I'm doing is I'm giving them the wrong thing. I'm giving them the entire game state for like the whole server. Oh, got some messages. Yep, you are playing, Cliff. You got a big group of people in here with you already. Yeah, so I'm setting up the wrong thing, right? So I'm resetting, but I need to reply with get in game states. The game code. That needs to be the keyword version of the game code because that is a string. So now does it work? Let's get Josh in on the action. Alright, so we got rid of that intermediate layer. You can see up here that we had like game state, colon, game, and then like the actual game that like we were playing as far as the user perspective goes is like right here. Game state, game code. Yep, just one sec. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out, like, whether this thing is what I think it is. It's like we're logging this big old, like, map, essentially, but even though I've got the game state in this module, in this namespace, for some reason I can't access things. So, like, the game state there is this. If I say get in game states, this and the code, and that exact same thing is just like nuts. Not working for some reason. Yeah, so now I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Ooh, we got some rough light on that face, don't we? Let's change it to something a little nicer. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a bit dark. Yes? Okay. So what is going on here? You know, I must be sending like the wrong thing back. Because we can get this to work for the host, but not a player. So let's just try to like start one more game. Richard. Oh. Right. So we got that. So what this has to be is what we're setting back. Game state, my function. Alright, so what do we look like right now? This is the one we just started. Yeah, let's just hash p what that is. Let's hash p what this is. Let's make sure this is in our namespace. It is not. Alright, load this in. We'll load that function and this function because they have changed. We'll go back here to start one more game for Richard III. Alright. So what we send back is this. Keep track of that. If we join the game, Lifel. We say Cliff is joined. Probably get a bunch of errors. Okay, we just had some weird stuff going on. Game code, Lifel, host Richard III. Oh, it worked. It does work. Yeah, something to figure out. Something to figure out about Enclosure is why sometimes you can hot reload and the code will just kind of like make it in there. And sometimes you have to like genuinely refresh the page for code changes to work. So, yeah, not great that I just spent 20 minutes trying to solve a bug that I had effectively like already solved. So, require a little more investigation there, but at least we know we're not insane. That's always nice. Okay. Okay, so yeah, what are we trying to do? Let's get a list of players next. So we got this hard-coded thing. Ooh, let's get a list of players, and then let's update the list of players when new ones join. Yeah, that's a great place to be. Okay, lobby. Yes, now we can do, like, game states. Let's loop through the players, shall we? So this will be let's define this as a variable at the top since we're going to be accessing this like multiple times. So let's get that around everything. Game be the result of getting in the game state our game code. Now we can say game code game. That'll give us what we had before. Alright, now we can say map over players in the game. What do we want? We want an anonymous function because that makes it easy. Yeah, let's start with a list item which has the name of the player to start. I think that's all we have to do. Let's refresh. Alright, we got nothing. Who from the team do we have? Vanessa. Massive crash. Invalidarity 0. For what? Lifel. Who else? Dan. Still massive errors. Yeah, I've gotten deep enough into this app where I'm encountering problems I don't know how to solve. Alright, so that's the new thing we did. Let's try this. Lifel Alon. Right. So now we have game states. Alright, so we were trying to do this. but we had some problems. So if we do like a get in game state, game state players, what does this look like? Richard III. If we map over all that, we get some problems. Invalid arity 0. It's available via *1 if you want to interact with it. So that's something that someone told me about yesterday, but I haven't really used it so much yet. And this is a way to kind of inspect your exceptions. So I think your most recent exception will be stored here, and then *1 is like, you know, essentially *E, *2 is like the second most recent exception, *3, so on and so forth. The results object failed to print is available via *1 if you want to interact with it. Yeah, really? Print line *1 object error invalid arity. And he's back. Welcome. We just crash landed straight into another bug. Map identity. Yeah. It's the same map v problems I was having before. Identity percent. Yes, what if I want to return just some LIs? Invalid arity. Invalid arity 0. Well, that's interesting. So, coming from the JavaScript background that I do, what I want to do is map, but more often what I've seen, yeah, it's a telling detail about how how small the language is that you know, things like this don't come up first when you Google search, which is also a habit from my JavaScripty ways. Yeah, people use like a for loop to like render stuff. Li item. Map v returns a vector, so shouldn't you take the first element out of it, or get out of the way, or something? Yeah, maybe that's why it's 4. Well, let's have a little experiment here. It's like, if I was doing this in React, for instance, like just normal JavaScript React, what React knows how to do is take a array of components, and run the like create element command on them. But I don't know if reagent can do that, or if there's like something about closure script which makes that like not a good idea. So if we just like passed it a vector of like hookup templates, went back here and refreshed, we would really crash. Okay, so yeah, because I'm returning a vector of vectors, I think using that for loop from the docs is probably what I want to actually do. Right, but I copy pasted that, didn't I? Okay. For player, for the player of players. Key, that's okay. Item Richard III. Oh, you know what? Here's the difference, is that it returns a list and not a vector, and a list contains elements when they are evaluated by closure will be essentially called as functions, I think. Oh, Craigie, welcome back, man. So one thing you can do is like into UL, yeah, let's try that. Into UL, bunch of list items. Hey, everyone. Yeah, into a UL, but will that solve the problem I was having before with like trying to render vectors like directly in my template? Let's try that. Oh no, that totally works. Yeah, so into a UL, our function from before, I think. Nope, invalid arity. If you want to put a collection of things as children into one thing in reagent. Right. Yeah. So I guess there must be like something I'm doing here. Wrong arity. Wrong arity, but for what function? Get in game states. It's not this. Oh, let's do some wacky closure stuff. Def percentage Richard the Third. Okay, so now we've overloaded percentage to be Richard the Third, right? So now what we can do is we can paste this, and now we can evaluate this inline. It's a function, but if we get rid of the hash, invalid arity 0. Yeah, so this is telling me the problem is with the list item somehow. Li Richard III. Do you work now? Invalid arity 0. Can I call... Ooh. Can I call a hookup template like a function? There's a question. Now I've done it. It's because the inner function is trying to call the vector. Try using function brace li instead. It's easier to put code in there, otherwise you need hash do. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so, geez, what namespace are we actually in? States, let's reload this in. Is that still Richard III? No, okay. Into UL, function name. Nope, still need the map v. We can do control to slurp forward. One too many braces. Everything is as it should be. Use undeclared var. Oh, yep. Should not be percentage sign, it should be name. ULLI Richard III. Awesome. So now we can go back to our lobby. Into UL, do the following things. Yep. Tab to format, already formatted. Into a UL with that class, do the following. Gives an li with the name, build it from this vector. Now if we save that, go back. We got nothing because there are no players, but we don't crash, so... Jeez, where am I even at? Game state, what is the game code again? Lifel. Alright, so let's join the game Lifel. Let's have Craig join. Oh, hey, Richard the Third. Oh, hey. Oh, those were our players from last time. So we got Richard the Third, who's the host. We have all those people we added, but we couldn't see, and now we can add new players. So let's go to a new game, shall we? Not the lobby, but Lifel. Hey, nice. All right, cool. Excellent. So now we can start a game as a host and we can join a game as a player. Everyone knows what the game code is. Everyone knows who is in the game already. And yeah, that's super cool. Nah, if I was being like, if I was being like really WebSockety about this, what I would do, do I have this ability already? Let's just like start from scratch. So let's reset our game state to be an empty object. Oop. Alright. Let's check, make sure we're not crazy. Alright, blank slate. No games, we just blasted everything we did out of the water. And this will require a little bit of Windows something or other. Alright, localhost 8080. Yep. Okay. So now we got two games. First thing we're going to do is we're going to host a game that I hosted this time. Start a game. We got that. Now, what I want to see is the new players show up when I join a game. I'm not sure if I've written code that is actually going to make this possible, but we will find out. Also, secretly, I don't have the ability to put spaces in usernames just yet, so it'll make the code do crazy stuff. Join. It didn't work. That is because we don't have React hooked up in a way that would actually make these components re-render. Yeah, I'm gonna call that okay for now, since really we're just seeing like how far it's possible to get, since we've kind of admitted to ourselves now that we're in the 11th hour that we're not actually going to finish this game. So I'm not going to touch that for now, but if and hopefully when I come back to this to finish it in some later month, that'll be something to focus on. The fact that like we can't get newly registered players to show up when they register. Yeah, so let's just follow the template, right? Start game. Okay, so let's go to the lobby. And this is a button, but if we're going to be good internet citizens and make this accessible, it should really be a link, I think. Join game. Alright, so we'll go back to the lobby. It's also like this hot reloading thing, which I think I'm gonna have to learn more about in startup month 2. So what I would have expected is to have that button appear. Width full. I thought you gave me width 100%. Delete now. Does that fix you? Width 100%. What's going on? There's something disabling that rule. Nope. Here I am redefining width full, like the whole class, and not just this is getting overridden by. Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter. Matters is that we add a link to this. Alright, so the class is that the href is what is even the route app? Alright, time for a re-edit route. So lobby. Now we can say game. Or not game, but enter plots. Plot inputs. Yep. So we're going to require that namespace. Refer plot inputs. Plot dash input. Thanks for catching me, Closure. Name plot inputs. Let's call the route plot input. All right. So one, let's see if we can get there. Just close this for now. Can't get there from here. All right. So we can do that. Now, if we go there, the link doesn't have the right thing. Where's our link going? Lobby. Ah, right. Told it to go back to the root page, so I went back to the root page. Computer only knows how to do what you tell it to do. Plot inputs is what we want. Plot dash inputs. Save. Join the game. Still not high reloading. Something about Shadows CLJS that I don't quite understand. But yeah, now we got a link that can go to a new URL. So let's get rid of this. Yeah, let's take a little side journey. Kind of it's like what I find myself frequently doing is like putting my mouse in front of this form and then like kind of hunting around for like the matching brace or the matching paren. So I think there must be a command somewhere where I can just like kind of select a form, and then once I've got it selected I can delete it. But what would that command be? Code evaluation, integrated REPLs, run current test, run all tests, refactoring. main namespace, and missing require, extract a new function, inline symbol, let expand, let move to previous box. Nope. Thread first all. Man, there's a lot of stuff you can do. Formatting. Not really what I want. Debugger, pretty printing. Using Calvo with X. Shift Alt right arrow. I think that'll be Shift Option for me. Shift Option right. Nope. Shift. Nope. Shift Command right. Nope. Which grows selection, left arrow to shrink. Oh, so if I just do Yeah, no, it's like kind of treating this block as though it's like one piece of syntax. Yeah, I think there might be some like Mac bugs because yeah, all the documentation is written as though you're a Windows user, but I think Alt on Mac is Option. Well, sometimes people like swap like Shift and Commands, so maybe it's like Command Option. Nope. Actually got that mapped to my window manager. Function Control Shift Option. Oh, hold on. Am I onto something? Nope. Yeah, anyway. Not important for now. But something definitely useful for later. Yeah, drum game. Or start game. Start game. Oh. Alright, I'm not gonna learn. Not gonna worry about the style things going on here. We're just gonna go straight there. Alright, so it's 11:20, and I bet I could get to the point where I can enter a plot and submit a plot. Don't have anything written for that yet, but I bet I can get that done in 40 minutes. So let's give that a shot. Alright, plot input. First thing to do, hook up the ish. And if we take the lobby as a reference, what I'm doing is passing in. It's interesting that this lobby component was not re-rendering when the state changed. It says passing the state as an argument, and when React sees that the props for a component is changed, then it should re-render the component with the new props. So, yeah, interesting that GameState had new users in that, or new players in the player array, and lobby did not render when we added new users. So, it's a little point of finesse that we're going to have to figure out. Alright, so plot inputs, local state, game state. And how I've been doing this is player. So we got like the host and the player. Now we can have like a plots. Oh, we can have that be just a string, or we could have it be like oriented towards the rounds. Yeah, it's kind of loud, isn't it? Alright, back off mute. Yeah, so you know what? I think I'll start on the basis of just a simple string. Like what I could do is I could do like round 1, round 2, round 3, and have this be a plot 3, something like that. But I think when a new round starts, I'll just blow away whatever this string was, since we're tracking plots in the game state anyway. So I'll just make this a simple string, and then we'll like tie that into the game state later. So not plots, but plots. Alright, so local states. We got a text area, ID, and a placeholder, and a value, and an on change. So the value will be plots, local state, and on change. I'll do just a reset. Can we do that? I don't think we can actually. Are we doing that already? Reset local state. Oh, so we're like resetting the whole thing, but we're doing an association. Yeah, so I'll just copy and paste that, save a bit of time. So we're going to reset the local state, but we're going to associate local state at the plot key, whatever we've entered. And if we see it show up, we know it worked. Did it work? I think it did. Alright. Yep, so we see in our state that's there, and we're all good. Alright. So we can track that locally. And then we've got a button. On click. It's going to be right. Click equals submit plot. I don't think I need to wrap that in another function, do I? Can I just pass it straight in? Well, it doesn't exist yet, but it will soon. And how to do that? I import a join game from the client component. Alright, require all that stuff, but not all that. Just submit plot, which doesn't exist yet, but it soon will. Alright. So go to client. Register game, join game, submit plot. Load that into the namespace. Load that into this namespace. Refresh the page, and I think I'll be able to console log. Oh. Submit plot on click. We need the oh, hold on. We put that outside the props. Needs to go inside. Saved, presumably high reloaded, still got the old text. Boink. Alright. You can see that, so we know it works. Now we need the functionality. So if we go into clients, I'm going to send a new WebSocket message. All right, channel socket send. All right, socket channel submit plot. All right, get in local states, player game code. So this is the game code they entered, but I think that's probably not a great place to retrieve it from when we're doing stuff like this. So get in game states, game code. That's really going to be this one here. Get in local states, plot. Yep, okay. So we'll send a WebSocket message on that ID. Here's the payload. And here's the reply. For the time being, we'll comment these out. All right. Successfully submitted plot. All right. So load that into the REPL. Make it available to our app. It was dark and stormy indeed. All right, we're gonna submit plot, and we're gonna get a wump because the server had no idea what to do with that. But that's okay, because we're gonna help it understand. Let's just copy this whole thing for reference and head back over to our backend. Yeah, unhandled event, channel socket, submit plot. Yeah, so we haven't written a piece of code that actually knows what to do when the server receives a WebSocket message with that ID. So send comes with this thing where you can send like the message itself, which consists of the ID and the like the map that you're sending back. Can be like any kind of data, but I've been sending maps. You can send like numbers or strings. You have a timeout to wait for a reply from the server, and then the server reply, when the server does reply, it'll call this callback function, and that's what I've been using to actually set state in the React apps. Yeah, so that's what's going on. Yeah, we're using a multi-method here, which it's like pretty cool. I don't really know how to best use them. This is an interesting idea to have kind of like a reducer like built into the language itself, where you define like one function which like picks the thing that it's going to like reduce over. So in this instance, we've got this thing called event message handler, which is actually like receiving the message. What the event message handler does is picks out the ID from the message, so this thing, and then we call this like kind of private-ish function with like the dash in front. And yeah, each one of these messages is going to get called. It's going to check to see if the ID matches the one that this like multi-method thing passed to it. And if it does, then it'll fire off the functionality. And then I think there's a default. Yeah, so a default case as well. So if it can't like pattern match on the key that it was passed, then it'll just say it was an unhandled event, which is what you're seeing every time this like ping shows up on the server. So yeah, let's go back here. Let's add a case for submitting a plot. We're calling this name, but we should really be calling this plot. Let's load that in real quick before we forget. So plot, and then game code. Yeah, this might be a good opportunity to use keys. Use keys and let closure. Yeah, here we go. So instead of going through and manually defining those things, what we can do is instead say like plot. Oh wait, how do we? I always use this in a function. Keys from a maps. Yeah, this calls for some REPL experimentation, doesn't it? But maybe not in a REPL where I'm constantly getting interrupted by WebSocket pings. Yeah, so if we got like def test map, we say it's like not, was that dark and stormy? Game code, GameStop. Alright, if we say like keys test map, right. So how do we get the values out of there? That's not it. Destructuring maps closure. Oh, just the braces. Yeah, so what I'm really trying to do is plots test map. Nope, no item. Really? Do I need to use this in a let? Yeah, I guess it makes sense, right? Let's plot scheme code test map, and how about we just print line plot to start. Oh, whoa, whoa, spec failed. Sure did. Yeah, let's just get rid of that. Wow, this is destructuring from a list. So can we like destructure from a map? Oh, don't like cats. Hey, man. Yeah, I remember you from a few weeks ago. Nice to see you again. Yeah, descending into destructuring madness. Yeah, and I've been doing this thing where like I've got these functions which are like WebSocket handlers. And so I'm trying to like define a new one, and yeah, I know how to destructure from like a function argument. Like this is okay, but what I'm trying to do is figure out how to do that in a let block. I figure you must be able to do it, but I just don't have quite the right syntax. So I've got this like test map thing here, and yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to do that in like the let way. It's exactly the same. It is exactly the same. Yeah, so instead of doing this, keys, bop, bop, test map, something like that. Oh, keys, that. And if we call throwaway, plot nil, print line. So we're getting the key, but I want the value. Wow, maybe I don't do it like that. Plot. What? Oh, print line. There we go. Yep. Okay, cool. That's how we do it. So even if it's a keyword in a map, yeah, I guess keys kind of implies that, right? Like we're going to take these things and turn them into keys internally, and that's how you define them as variables. So that makes sense. Okay, cool. Yeah, that'll make this code a lot nicer, won't it? So now we can do keys, name, game, code. We're going to get that from the data. Next game state, we're going to need that eventually, but ooh, how about we just do this sweet thing we learned and get rid of them. Alright. You know what, let's just delete this for now, because we're not gonna... so we don't get confused. Okay. Alright, brace there. Delete that. Are we good? We got some squiggles. Let binding vector requires an even number of forms. Ah, goes outside, yep. Makes sense. Makes sense. Alright, there we go. Let's see, let's go. Yeah, so we have the name in the game code, but really what we need is the plot in the game code. 19 minutes, we can do it. What is the game state? Plots, alright. Next game state, it's going to be, what was this function? It's like add plot, yeah, there we go. So we need a game state, we need a player, game code, and a plot. We got all that, thankfully. Up to the handlers. Refer add plot, get that into the REPL. Alright. It's going to to be a result of adding plots to game states. Yeah, we do actually need the player name, don't we? Submit plots, plot game code, and name. Name gets in local states name. Yeah, that's just a player name. It's gonna cause problems when the host tries to submit a plot, but yeah, we'll figure it out. Okay. Get in local state the player and the name. Alright, so we're sending the name. Now, I guess in order for this to work, we actually have to go through the flow. Or, let's be smart closurists about this and actually like bootstrap, yeah, let's bootstrap up some states. So like the whole idea of this language is that you're supposed to be able to develop interactively with it. So coming from the JavaScript perspective, as I do, my instinct just now was to go all the way back to the front, host a game, get a game code, host a player, get some player names in there, and like actually go through the steps in the UI to actually like get the state of the game in the way I need it, in order to like actually successfully enter a plot. But I think what I can do instead is go into the app. Where was I? Client. Yeah, let's do this in client. I learned about this sweet comment form this week. So now I can use this to actually kind of like bootstrap the state of the game into the condition I want it to be. So if I say like resets the local, nope, not the destructure, local states, okay, host name, and a new password. Player, let's call the host Billy. And what we do need is a valid game code, so we'll call that SGZN. SGZN player, called Andy, and the plot will be test plots 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now using this, what I can do is I can just like kind of run that function, and now our local state was nothing before, but now if we say local state, we can see it's been updated. Now if we say game state, I think there's nothing in there because we reset the app on the browser, which blew away what we had. But yeah, using this, what we can say is submit plots, name plot game code, bam. Ooh, I wonder, submit plot. Why don't I just call this from the REPL? Why go to the browser at all? Can't access property call. Closure subcorridor if call is null. Well, I haven't seen that one before. I don't know what that's about. Can't access the property. The function expression is null. They give you this number sometimes. Object What is... It's the malfunction. Maybe it's that channel socket send. We load this whole namespace in. And now try to call submit plot. Invoke arity 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What if we say like join game? That one worked from before. No. We have a new chat. Submit plot's supposed to return a function. Yeah, so I don't think it returns a function, but what you pass to these like sent utility functions is like okay, so we're calling this function channel socket send. The first thing it takes is like the message you're sending. So this is the message ID and this is the message payload. And then you can like supply other arguments too. So this is like a timeout. And then this right here is a callback function for when the server responds to that message. So I don't think submit plot is supposed to return a function per se, but you do, or you can pass it a callback function when you do send a message to the server itself. Yeah, so wonder if we'd see that behavior if we do actually go through UI. I was talking all kinds of big game about, oh, look at this like cool and clever language I'm using. No, I shouldn't disparage it like that. Enclosure. Okay, so now we got that. If we go back to localhost 8080 and we join game xqzx, we say Andy. Alright. So now we'll say start game. Yada yada. Submit plot. Do we get the same error? We don't. So I wonder what was going on in the REPL that we can call submit plot from the real UI, but we can't call it in the REPL. Yeah, anyway. It's a mystery for later. But we do get everything we need on the back end, and now we just need to actually call this function. Add plot game states. Player game code plots. Name player game code plots. So the next game state is going to be the result of calling that function. I don't think we need to wrap it in parens because we're defining a variable. That's right. Okay. Alright, reset the game state to the next game state, and then call our reply function with the following. Get rid of hash p for the time being, which has been super useful. Oh my god. Alright, so now instead of womp, we should get we should get a game state back, right? So it was a dark and stormy night. Nicht night. Hey. Oh no. Okay, so there was actually a problem with this function. Wait. Successfully submitted plot. Oh, so we did get it back. I don't think we got the right functionality going because we didn't actually add the plot to my character. We got 8 minutes left. Oh, clock is ticking. Game state, player, game code, plot. Associating the game state the index of the game code. Yeah, maybe I didn't keywordize. Keyword. Super dark and stormy. You don't even know. Alright, so we're getting that back. Oh, hey, look at that. We got it. We called the function on the back end. We had a plot, and we got it in there. Alright, cool. Yeah, you know what? I think that's it for the day. Yeah, that's a good place to stop. So anyway, yeah, man, what did we get done? We got adding a player to the game, listing current players who have joined the game, submit a plot to the backend, save that plot in the front end state. So we got this done. We got that done, we got that done. Next time, I'm gonna put a dancing lady there. Alright, cool. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this was the last day of month 1, unfortunately. Yeah, thank you, man. I was actually gonna say that, yeah, it's been kind of a ride. I think I was like massively overambitious in terms of what I picked for my first startup, and especially the things surrounding it. Like, you know, this is my first month programming Enclosure. This is my first time trying to like bootstrap a business off to the ground. First time really like writing a game on this scope. I mean, I've written like tic-tac-toe, and some other like, you know, kind of small simple games, but writing a game is like really hard. There's a lot of stuff going on. First time using WebSockets, first time live streaming, so yeah, it is somewhat unsurprising that this is the final day of month 1 and I haven't actually like gotten the thing finished. But as I was saying at the beginning of the stream, maybe I wasn't working on the game after all this whole time. Maybe secretly what I was doing is just like laying my foundation. And, you know, kind of jumping into it head first, it's kind of hard to see what a thing is going to be until you're in the middle of it. So I think I needed more preparation time than I allotted myself. And yeah, no, that's all fine. So anyway, what's really cool is we're going to jump into month 2 with like days of progress already taken care of. So we're going to have like all that REPL experience. We're going to have all that kind of gained knowledge of like how to work effectively with the language, how to set up a server, how to set up like front-end apps, things like that. So we're going to be in a much better position month 2 to set ourselves up for success, and we're going to intentionally pick something smaller than what we think we can do, and that's going to set us up for success. Yeah, so anyway, guys, you all have kind of showed up in various past streams, and you showed up again, so I'm super appreciative of that. On Monday, I'll have a summary post of how things went in month 1 of this project up on my blog. Just in case you don't have the link, you can find that at startupinamonth.net. I got a few things written already, so yeah, if you check back on Monday, I'll have kind of a write-up on my thoughts of how everything's gone, and month 2, day 1 will be a new day. But anyway, thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys later, and yeah, have a nice weekend.